Up here, where the sky feels close enough to touch, the Himalayas rise not just as a towering geographic boundary, but as a place where the human soul finds its quiet. This is more than Everest's snow-crowned peak. Everest is just one spark in a vast universe of ancient cultures, sacred beliefs, and timeless traditions stretching from Nepal and India to Bhutan. In the biting chill of the mountain winds, you'll see monasteries clinging to cliff edges, pilgrims bowing low at the feet of sacred peaks, and rice terraces tucked gently beneath the watch of eternal snow. This is not simply a journey across land. It's a journey back in time, into the living heart of the sacred. Welcome to the Himalayas, where nature and spirit meet. Everest, Mother of the Universe, and the journey to base camp. In the far northeast of Nepal, where jagged ridgelines pierce the sky, Mount Everest rises like a silent god. The Nepalese call her Sagarmatha, the forehead of the sky. The Tibetans whisper another name, Chomolungma, Mother of the Universe. Everest isn't just the tallest mountain in the world. She's a symbol of human ambition, of faith, and of the limits we can't help but try to push. For the Sherpa people who live along the Himalayan corridor, Everest is not a prize to be conquered. She is sacred. They build stupas, carve prayers into stone, and let strings of colorful prayer flags dance in the wind, messages sent skyward. In 1953, Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay, a Sherpa from Nepal, became the first to stand on her summit. But for the mountain people, Everest has always remained a sleeping deity, untouchable in spirit. The trek to Everest Base Camp doesn't require technical climbing skills, but it will test both your body and your will. It begins in Lukla, winds through Namche Bazaar, and pushes higher past rhododendron forests, glaciers, and towering ice falls. Along the way, mani walls etched with sacred mantras line the trails, and prayer flags stretch from cliff to cliff like invisible threads connecting earth and sky. And then, at 17,400 feet, facing the mountain's eternal snow, you don't just feel awe, you feel quiet. Everest doesn't speak. She doesn't need to. She simply stands, tall, cold, and still, reminding you that some things in life are too vast to measure in feet and inches. Langtang and Gosaikunda, legends between snow and myth. Just a day's journey from Kathmandu, Langtang feels like another Nepal, quiet, contemplative, and almost forgotten amid the country's more famous trekking routes. This valley, nestled near the Tibetan border, is cradled by peaks dusted with eternal snow. Here, small Tamang villages hold fast to Tibetan culture. etched into every stone wall, woven into the spin of every prayer wheel. The trail winds through rhododendron forests, swaying suspension bridges, and icy mountain streams. Simple villages like Lama Hotel and Langtang itself appear along the way, humble yet warm, with the sound of children laughing and the soft curl of smoke rising from dark stone chimneys. At dawn, the Kyanjin Gompa Monastery emerges from the mist, not so sacred that you must bow, but serene enough to make you want to stay. From Langtang, a side trail heads west toward Gosaikunda, a sacred lake shimmering at over 14,000 feet. Its glassy surface reflects the brooding black rock peaks around it. In Hindu legend, Lord Shiva created this lake after swallowing poison to save the world. So holy is this place that each year thousands of pilgrims cross mountains to plunge into its freezing waters, seeking spiritual cleansing. Gosaikunda doesn't try to impress. In the cold, thin air, among moss-covered stones and a sky so blue it almost hurts, the silence here makes you pause. It's not the grandeur that overwhelms you. It's the feeling that you're standing inside a living myth. A place that has never needed to prove its greatness, because it has been sacred for thousands of years.
Kathmandu Valley, where the past never left.
Tucked between the snow-laden roots of the Himalayas, the Kathmandu Valley feels like a warm pause, neither as imposing as Everest nor as remote as Langtang. Here, Nepal's memory is written in red brick, carved wooden doors, and details you won't find in any history book. This is the cultural heart of the country, home to three ancient cities, Kathmandu, Bhaktapur, and Bhutan, once thriving royal kingdoms, each with its own rhythm of time. In Kathmandu, Swayambhunath, better known as the Monkey Temple, sits atop a hill gazing over the city. The all-seeing eyes painted on its stupas seem to follow the endless flow of pilgrims and travelers, carrying both compassion and awakening in their gaze. Farther east lies Bhaktapur, a medieval city that time seems to have simply overlooked. Durbar Square, the 55-window palace, the towering Nyatapola Temple, and cobblestone alleys all hold the air of centuries past, a place where daily life and heritage merge seamlessly. Not far away, Bhutan, also called Lalitpur, unfolds like a masterwork in stone and metal. The intricately carved Krishna Mandir temple, hewn entirely from stone, and the Golden Temple, where incense smoke has drifted skyward since the 12th century, make this city feel like a sanctuary of living art. People don't come to the Kathmandu Valley just to see it. They come to slow down, to feel that some places are untouched by the erosion of time, perhaps because time itself decided to stop here.
Pokhara, the gentle breath of the Himalayas. If Kathmandu is Nepal's beating heart, then Pokhara is its gentle breath, the moment when the Himalayas stop roaring and begin to whisper. This lakeside city rests by the tranquil waters of Fiwa Lake, where the surface mirrors the high blue sky and distant mountain ranges, and where everything moves with a quiet grace, as if time itself has learned to slow down. In the early morning mist, you can drift across the lake in a simple wooden boat toward the tiny Talbarahi temple, perched on an island at its center. In the distance, Macha Puchare, its sacred fishtail-shaped summit, rises sharp and silver like a spear to the heavens. No one is allowed to climb it. It's believed to be the dwelling place of the gods, and perhaps it's better that way. Its beauty needs no conquest, only a glance to fill the heart. Pokhara is a place for adventurers who still seek peace. From the Sarangkot hills, you can float high above the valley on a paraglider, the snow-clad Annapurna range stretching before you like an endless ribbon of white silk. At sunrise, the first light spills across the peaks, turning the scene almost surreal, nature painting for just a few minutes each morning before tucking her masterpiece away. Along the lakeshore, cafes, bookshops, and tea houses welcome travelers like quiet waypoints on a long journey. In Pokhara, people come to breathe a little deeper, to see a little clearer, and sometimes simply to sit still and realize that even the mighty Himalayas can smile softly.
Annapurna Circuit, the endurance journey through every landscape. Not everyone dares to touch Everest, but many choose a different challenge, longer, quieter, and perhaps even more enduring: the Annapurna Circuit. One of the most celebrated trekking routes in the world, it stretches for more than 125 miles, leading travelers through every ecological zone imaginable, from lush subtropical forests and emerald green rice terraces to wind-swept mountain passes that climb to nearly 16,500 feet. It begins in Besi Sahar, where the trail threads its way through Gurun, Thakali, and Mananji villages. Each ethnic group is its own small universe, with rough stone houses, warm meals by the hearth, and greetings murmured through the morning mist. Then comes the Rong La, one of the highest passes on Earth that can be crossed on foot. At 17,769 feet, the air is thin, the wind cuts like glass, and the sky feels so close you could almost touch it. Yet, standing there, the exhaustion falls away, replaced by a strange, still calm, as if you've stepped outside of yourself entirely. Descending from the pass, the trail leads to Muktinath, a sacred site at over 12,000 feet, where Hindu and Buddhist pilgrims come together. For Hindus, it is one of the 108 most holy shrines, where 108 streams of pure water spill from the mouths of carved stone, each believed to wash away sin. For Tibetan Buddhists, Muktinath is where fire and water meet, natural gas flames burning inside the cold embrace of stone. The temple is small, yet it holds a deep, sacred quiet. Pilgrims immerse themselves in the freezing waters, murmuring prayers with eyes half closed. Here, in the raw expanse of the high mountains, a human being is no more than a tiny speck beneath the sky. But perhaps it's that very smallness that makes faith feel so vast. Tiger's Nest, a monastery between clouds and faith. Hidden in the drifting mists and pine forests of Bhutan's Paro Valley, Tiger's Nest, known locally as Paro Taktsang, stands as the country's most sacred spiritual symbol. Perched precariously on a cliffside more than 3,000 feet above the valley floor, it looks as though it was placed there by the hands of the gods themselves. Legend tells of Guru Rinpoche, the man who brought Vajrayana Buddhism to Bhutan. It is said he flew here on the back of a tigress, meditated in a cave for 3 months, and subdued the demons that haunted this land. The monastery was built to honor that moment of awakening, a quiet mark of enlightenment etched into the mountainside. Reaching Tiger's Nest takes about 3 hours of steady climbing, the trail winding through whispering pines while prayer flags flutter overhead, carrying ancient mantras into the wind. Pilgrims walk slowly, chanting under their breath as if the journey itself is part of the ritual. And when you finally step onto the monastery's wooden balcony and gaze out across the distant peaks, you understand why this is a place where the soul takes flight. Just one breath in the still mountain air, one silent moment in the wind, is enough to make you bow your head without even realizing you've done it.
Thimphu, the capital without traffic lights. In a world where cities race forward in a blur of noise and speed, it's hard to believe there's still a capital without a single traffic light. Yet in Thimphu, Bhutan, such things simply aren't necessary. Cradled in a quiet valley along the Wangchu River, Thimphu is proof that a city can run smoothly on respect and mindfulness rather than honking horns and flashing signals. There are no high-rise buildings here, no giant electronic billboards. Instead, traditional Bhutanese houses, whitewashed walls framed with hand-painted woodwork, line the streets, giving the entire city the feel of a living museum. At its heart stands the National Memorial Chorten, a stupa built in honor of Bhutan's third king. Each morning, locals gather here, turning prayer wheels, lighting incense, and reciting mantras in hushed devotion. Not far away, the Grand Tashicho Dzong rises in whitewashed splendor, its golden spires gleaming against the green hills. Both the seat of the royal government and a center of spiritual life, it comes alive each summer during the Thimphu Chechu Festival, when masked monks whirl and leap in dances that retell ancient Buddhist legends without a single word spoken. Thimphu doesn't overwhelm you. It slows you down. It draws your gaze to the elderly woman spinning her prayer wheel at the roadside, to the children bowing politely as strangers pass. Here, peace isn't a luxury. It's the natural way of life.
Dochula Pass, 108 stupas in the clouds. On the winding road from Thimphu to Bhutan's old capital of Punakha, the forest suddenly thins and a clearing appears. Dochula Pass, a place that feels suspended between earth and sky. At over 10,000 feet, this high mountain pass is more than a scenic viewpoint. It is where nature and spirit meet in profound stillness. Here, 108 whitewashed stupas stand in a solemn circle atop a gentle hill, their golden spires pointing toward the heavens. Built to honor Bhutanese soldiers who gave their lives, they carry no sense of sorrow, only peace. Colorful prayer flags ripple in the mountain wind, carrying wishes for harmony far across the valleys below. On clear days, the pass offers an unbroken view of Bhutan's eastern Himalayas, a wall of silver peaks stretching across the horizon, dominated by the mighty Gangkhar Puensum, the tallest unclimbed mountain in the world. In the mist, the beauty doesn't fade, it only softens, becoming dreamlike as clouds drift among the stupas. From the nearby Druk Wangyal Lhakhang temple, wind chimes sing gently, their notes mingling with the hush of the highlands. Dochula is not a place to rush through. It's a place that makes you want to pause, breathe deeply, and feel quietly grateful that such corners of peace still exist in the world. Punakha Dzong, where two rivers and one spirit meet. South of Dochula Pass, the road unwinds into a quiet valley where golden rice fields sway in season, and the soft light of morning drapes over the trees. In the midst of this peaceful landscape, Punakha Dzong rises like something lifted from the pages of a legend, its whitewashed walls reflected in the water, deep red timber accents and golden spires glowing in the first light of day. Built at the confluence of the Pochu and Mochu rivers, Punakha Dzong is one of Bhutan's most striking and sacred landmarks. Once the seat where Bhutan's kings were crowned, and the winter residence of the highest monks, it remains both a political emblem and the spiritual heart of the nation. Crossing the wooden bridge into the fortress, the air shifts, becoming hushed, reverent. The corridors are lined with vibrant murals depicting Buddhist legends, their colors echoing centuries of devotion. Through half-open temple doors, the low murmur of prayer drifts out, mingling with the sweet, smoky scent of incense. Every spring, the Dzong transforms into the stage for the Punakha Chechu festival. Monks in brilliant masks move to the beat of drums and the ring of bells, retelling sacred stories passed down through generations, not with words, but with movement. Whether you arrive as a pilgrim or as a traveler, Punakha Dzong leaves the same impression, a steady, living heartbeat where faith, nature, and history flow together, as seamlessly as the two rivers that embrace its walls.
Chimi Lhakhang, where life is blessed with a smile. From Punakha, a narrow path winds through emerald green rice fields to a modest monastery that holds a quiet yet magnetic presence. Chimi Lhakhang isn't grand like Punakha Dzong, or dramatically perched like Tiger's Nest, but it has a charm that stops travelers in their tracks, a mix of sincerity and a curious kind of faith preserved for generations. Built in the 15th century to honor Lama Drukpa Kunle, the divine madman, the temple carries the spirit of a man who spread Buddhism in unconventional ways, through outrageous words and playful, even scandalous acts meant to shake people free from deceit and delusion. His legacy is one of natural liberation, free of rigid rules, and it still lingers in the air here. Today, Chimi Lhakhang is known as Bhutan's fertility temple. Couples come from near and far to pray for children, kneeling before the small altar in the warm, dim prayer hall as monks offer blessings in a simple yet sacred ritual. There is no loud chanting, only the soft glow of light, the faint scent of incense, and the quiet sprouting of hope. The path to the temple passes through peaceful villages, their whitewashed walls painted with bold, colorful phallus symbols, a traditional sign of protection in Bhutanese folklore. Here, no one blushes. Instead, people smile, embracing life's openness with ease and gratitude. Chimi Lhakhang is more than a place to ask for a child. It's a gentle reminder that when life is met with trust, it becomes the simplest and most extraordinary miracle of all. Sikkim and Darjeeling, where three worlds meet. From Bhutan's southern border, the journey crosses into a small strip of land cradled between three great cultures, Tibet, Nepal, and India. This is Sikkim, a quiet yet captivating place where the Himalayas are not just a wall of stone, but a living deity to be revered. At the heart of this land lies Gangtok, Sikkim's capital, where houses seem to cling to the slopes, their balconies often shrouded in morning clouds.
Beyond the winding roads stands Rumtek Monastery, one of the most important centers of Tibetan Buddhism outside Tibet. The cold wind carries the soft chime of prayer bells, while the low hum of mantras drifts from the temple halls, creating a sense of separation from the rest of the world. But Sikkim is not only about the spiritual. Hidden waterfalls tumble through thick forests, tea plantations roll like green oceans, and the kindness of its people makes this place memorable, not because it's loud, but because its silence is so deep. Just a few hours away lies Darjeeling, the famed hill station of West Bengal. Unlike Gangtok's quiet devotion, Darjeeling carries the nostalgic echo of British colonial days, old mansions, stone churches, and tea estates stretching endlessly into the mist. Darjeeling tea is more than a drink. It is the distilled essence of soil, fog, mountain air, and generations of careful hands. At dawn, travelers make their way to Tiger Hill to watch the first light touch Kanchenjunga, the world's third highest mountain. For a few fleeting minutes, the peaks blaze with gold and pink, and the entire world seems to hold its breath. In that moment, you no longer know if you're standing in India, Tibet, or Nepal. You only know you're witnessing something rare, beauty that is sacred, ephemeral, and as delicate as a single breath.
Where the Ganges begins, Gaumukh, Rishikesh, and Haridwar. Beyond the misty tea slopes of Darjeeling, the road bends northwest, where the Himalayas shift into a rougher, more solemn landscape, one deeply etched into the spiritual heart of India. Here, among snowbound peaks and glacial winds, the sacred Ganges is born. At over 10,000 feet, the small, quiet town of Gangotri rests beside the Gangotri Glacier. Revered as the source of the holiest river in Hinduism. The temple here is simple, white domes gleaming against the mountains, but the air around it carries a weight of devotion that makes every step feel lighter. Pilgrims travel from every corner of India, filling small vessels with glacier water to carry home, believing that even a single drop can cleanse away life's burdens. From the glacier's mouth at Gaumukh, the young Ganges rushes into being, its icy waters tumbling with the force of millennia, carrying silt, legend, and faith down toward the plains. By the time the river reaches Rishikesh, the atmosphere softens. Known as the yoga capital of the world, the town's ashrams, meditation retreats, and healing centers line both banks. Two suspension bridges connect the old and new halves of the city, spanning emerald waters that gently smooth the rounded stones below. Stones shaped by nothing more than time's patient hand. Further downstream, the Ganges arrives in Haridwar, where faith becomes luminous and public. Each evening, thousands gather at Har Ki Pauri Ghat for the Ganga Aarti. As the sun sets, countless oil lamps are lit and set adrift on the water. Bells ring, chants rise, and prayers are whispered into folded hands. Amid the river's glimmering currents, people believe each offering will be carried onward forever, never lost, just like the river itself. Manali and Rohtang Pass, a stop between pine forests and snowfields. From Haridwar, the journey bends northwest into the highlands of Himachal Pradesh. The sacred rivers fade quietly into the distance, giving way to dark pine forests and mountain ridges layered like waves of stone. This is where the Himalayas shift in character, no longer only the realm of legends, but also a place of romance and nostalgia. Shimla, once the summer capital of British India, still carries the air of a European hill town forgotten by time. Pale wooden houses cling to steep slopes, cobblestone lanes wind lazily through the hills, and the crisp breeze seems made for slow walks, steaming cups of chai, and cloud watching over distant peaks. From here, the UNESCO World Heritage Kalka-Shimla Railway winds through stone bridges, old tunnels, and endless cedar forests. An unhurried journey that feels like a step back into childhood. Northward lies Manali, where the Himalayas wrap themselves in a coat of snow and the air turns sharp enough to wake every sense. The town sits along the Beas River, framed by apple orchards and old villages like Vashisht, where life moves gently and travelers linger under wooden eaves, jotting notes in journals to the sound of birds and the scent of ginger tea. From Manali, the road climbs to Rohtang Pass, nearly 13,000 feet above sea level, where snow lies year-round. The wind bites, the rocks bear the rough, unsoftened lines of time, and before you stretches the vast Pir Panjal Range, glaciers slipping silently through deep mountain chasms. Here you can ski, ride across the snow on rugged vehicles, or simply sit on the ice and feel the mountains breathe, realizing you've touched one of the Himalayas' rawest, yet most beautiful faces. Spiti Valley, where time turns to stone in a frozen desert. Beyond Rohtang Pass, heading deeper into the northern reaches of Himachal Pradesh, the landscape changes dramatically. The pines disappear, replaced by barren mountains, cracked earth and gray-brown ridges stretching endlessly toward the horizon. At over 11,500 feet, Spiti Valley emerges like another world. There is no greenery here, no blare of horns. Only the cold wind and a silence so complete it forces you to listen to yourself. People call Spiti Little Tibet, not only for its stark terrain, but because it has preserved the ancient soul of Tibetan Buddhism. Mud brick monasteries cling to the mountainsides like fortresses of faith. Khai Monastery, the valley's most iconic, perches high on a hill, gazing down over the land like a silent guardian. Inside its stone walls, young monks chant by candlelight, while elder lamas quietly turn prayer beads, as though time here moves in a rhythm untouched by the outside world. Not far away lies Chandratal, Moon Lake, a brilliant blue-green jewel cradled between towering cliffs. Its surface shifts with the clouds, mirroring the rare stillness of this land. In Spiti, there is nothing to chase, nothing to prove. You simply exist, surrounded by rock, wind, and a profound stillness that reminds you, even in the harshest emptiness, there is a kind of peace that can only be born from absolute solitude. Ladakh, Nubra Valley, and Pangong Lake. Snow deserts and sacred dreams. From the raw wilderness of Spiti, the high road leads onward to a land unlike any other, a place where mountains rise sheer and copper-colored,
where icy rivers cut across stone deserts, and where time itself seems to lose its grip. Leh, the capital of Ladakh, is the gateway to one of the most spectacular and isolated regions of the Indian Himalayas. At over 11,500 feet, it feels both harsh and surreal, the air so thin that every breath becomes a conscious act. Leh is quiet, its narrow gravel lanes winding past whitewashed mud houses, centuries-old monasteries, and pockets of barley fields glowing under the fierce sun. Rising above it all is Tiksi Monastery, perched high on a ridge like a miniature version of Tibet's Potala Palace. Inside, towering Buddha statues, walls covered in centuries-old scriptures, and strings of prayer flags fluttering in the wind give the place a deep, sacred gravity. Nearby, Hemis Monastery, the largest in Ladakh, erupts each year in the vibrant color and music of the Hemis Festival, where masked dancers bring ancient legends to life. Beyond Leh, the road climbs over Khardung La, one of the highest motorable passes in the world, before descending into the Nubra Valley, where golden sand dunes meet snow-capped peaks in a landscape that feels impossible. Two-humped Bactrian camels roam the desert floor, while the towering Maitreya Buddha of Diskit Monastery gazes serenely over the valley, a silent anchor between earth and sky. And finally, for those who endure the winding mountain roads, Pangong Lake appears like a dream, straddling the border between India and Tibet. Its deep waters shift in color with the light, brilliant blue, jade green, even silver gray, mirroring clouds and peaks with a painter's precision. Here, no one hurries. People simply sit at the water's edge, watching the ripples, feeling something settle quietly inside, a peace too deep to name, yet unmistakably real. Pakistan, Fairy Meadows, Hunza, and K2, the final salute from the untamed heights. As the mountains of Ladakh fade behind, the road turns west, crossing into the last chapter of the Himalayas, Pakistan's high frontier, where nature grows wilder, harsher, and yet impossibly beautiful. The first wonder to reveal itself is Fairy Meadows, a high alpine pasture at over 10,000 feet, lying at the foot of Nanga Parbat. There are no paved roads here, only steep trails carved into the mountainside, reached by hours of trekking or horseback through pine forests and sheer cliffs. But the reward is a carpet of green rolling into an endless sky, a place so enchanting it seems plucked from an unwritten fairy tale. By nightfall, the colossal mass of Nanga Parbat glows under the cold moonlight, stunning enough to steal your breath. At 26,660 feet, it is the world's 9th highest peak, yet far more infamous for its mountaineer's nickname, the Killer Mountain. Its southern Rupal face is one of the tallest and most formidable cliff faces on Earth. And yet, from Fairy Meadows, the mountain seems peaceful, a sleeping giant wrapped in glaciers and streaks of black rock. From here, the journey winds into the Hunza Valley, a green oasis in an otherwise barren land. Terraced fields of apricots and cherries climb the hillsides, stone villages rest beneath towering peaks, and the ancient Baltit fort stands guard over it all. Time doesn't stop here. It simply slows to a pace that lets you breathe. The people of Hunza are famed for their long lives and gentle spirits,
attributing their vitality to the pure glacier water flowing from the Himalayas, a stream they see as eternal life itself. Further along, the road climbs to Khunjerab Pass, the highest paved border crossing between Pakistan and China at nearly 15,400 feet. Here, tiny border markers stand alone in an endless sweep of snow and sky. This is the realm of the Karakoram Range, severe, solemn, and overwhelming. And at its heart stands K2. At 28,251 feet, K2 is the second highest mountain in the world, but for many, it is the ultimate summit. More remote, more dangerous, and more demanding than Everest. There are no pilgrimage trails here, no easy paths. K2 stands in silence, proud and unyielding, its presence saying everything that words cannot.
It is the perfect ending to this long Himalayan journey. A reminder that some summits are not meant to be conquered, but to be bowed to. Some places cannot be carried home in luggage or captured fully on a map. The Himalayas are such a place, not just because they are high, but because they leave you quiet inside. After crossing snowy passes, sitting in stillness beside frozen lakes, or walking through temple corridors scented with incense, what stays with you is not the names of peaks or monasteries, it's the feeling of having stood inside something larger than time itself. Here, where earth and faith have no borders, where the human heart becomes small but never weak, the Himalayas do not teach you how to conquer. They teach you how to let go of haste, of ego, of the urge to record every detail, until all that remains is one honest, unshakable moment. And when you leave, you are not the same, not because you reached a summit, but because you learned how to be still, in the wind, in the clouds, and bow before what cannot be measured, yet is always here.